I'm Shelley Lear, and I'm here today with Jess and Jules, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they did prior to Jess and Jules. So I know who's who, but I'll let them introduce and take it from there.
Cool. Well, hi, Shelley. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
Jess, this is Jules.
Hi.
So, what do we do before Jess and Jules? I studied design and then left college and landed a job in human resources, which was just one of those things. You want to get some money when you leave college, and I stayed in that job for about 13 years. I gained my business studies degree, became very good at it, was travelling all over the country with the job, but I missed the sort of craft and the design elements of what I studied. And when I had the children, when I was pregnant with the children, got two now, I decided that was probably the time to change. So I couldn't do the travelling as I had. And I think a lot of women in particular experience that. It gives them, pregnancy and having children gives them the impetus to change, the opportunity to change. So I did. I then studied upholstery. I really wanted to get back to a craft where I was using my hands. So I trained in upholstery. I got back into surface pattern design and took another sort of course in that. And then I created a little upholstery business, and that's when I met Jules. Yeah.
So I came out of university. I'd studied design and public art, but fell into photography, and that was my career right up until having children. And I stopped working altogether to raise them full time, but then realised that actually I really miss the making side of what I'd done at university, and so just started working on little projects that I had at home, doing up bits of furniture, finding bits on the street that I'd do up for the kids, and I continued doing that just for fun. And then eventually I met Jess when our kids started school, and that's when we got talking, and Jess and Jules became what it is.
And the rest is history.
Well, that was what I was so surprised at, that you guys, when you started talking, didn't take very long for you to realize that you could be partners and really create a business that met both of your needs, but yet had a unifying theme. So why don't you just give us a little bit of background on what your business, Jess and Jules, is, and what all you do, sell, serve, everybody, everything.
Wow, okay. Well, basically, we set up the business to serve the independent upholstery and soft furnishings market. We both have a love for interiors, and we are naturally sort of designer makers. So what we actually do is we offer people products to make a bespoke home. Essentially, that's what we do. That's our motto. Helping people to create a bespoke home. We feel that actually is really important for people to get their own identity on their space. For people not to just go out and buy your high street furniture that probably was made halfway around the world. So we have 3 brands. There are our interiors brand, our makers brand, and our bespoke brand. And with those 3, we design and sell fabric and fabric-related products like footstools, cushions, things like that. We also design and make products for the independent upholsterer. So our legs, for instance, we've designed and made in Britain. So we design our hairpin legs. We're just about to sell wooden legs as well, which is all really exciting. And we sell then the kits as well. So
the makers can do it themselves as well.
Yeah, this is it. And that was really important to us, to be able to support the making market, getting people who, might not necessarily have been in business because they maybe thought that the big boys had got all the market. Actually, you can make and you can create and you can sell, and we're there to support that. And then a small part of our business is the bespoke business, where people come to us if they want something a bit unique, a bit crazy, and we'll say yes. You know, they'll ask us, "Can you make this?" And we'll go, "Yeah," and then we'll figure out how to do it.
That brings up a question. So, do any of those customers or clients, excuse me, whatever you want to call them, do they end up becoming interested and then want to make anything themselves, like take part in that part of that side of your business? Not really?
Not entirely on that side of the business, no. We've done workshops in the past, which have been great, and people have really wanted to get involved, and then, you know, asking lots of questions about other types of courses and making. But in terms of the bespoke products, it's normally somebody's coming to us and wants something built from scratch, or they've got an upholstery project that they'd like us to work on, perhaps using our fabrics or a choice of their fabrics, or upcycling a piece, or turning a piece of furniture that they've already got into something completely different. It's quite varied.
It is. We have a lot of customers will go from sort of one area of our business to another. So they might come to us for fabric and then see that we do, you know, kits. And what we do see, though, with our clients is, I mean, most of our clients now are that independent small business who have just started up, want something different, want, you know, to offer something different, and will come to us for our, you know, our very unique fabric range, and that sort of thing. So
that side of the business is what's really, you know, really starting to take on now.
Yeah,
working with the other independent businesses.
So would you say that you're kind of evolving into a business to business? You know, I mean, you are selling to businesses mostly now?
Yeah, we probably are. I think with the businesses, we've set our business up really to support and collaborate. We think that's really important. You know, we're never wanting to hide our secrets and hide our design skills. It's very much about supporting other people to create their bespoke homes, whether that is, you know, the indie businesses or others. But I think
it's a lot of small indie businesses as well that you know, we're seeing a lot of growth in as well. You know, independent upholsterers who have set up and are wanting to use our fabrics and components. It's really exciting. It's really interesting to see where it's going to go.
So because Jess, I know your mom is an interior designer, right? Am I right on
that?
Yeah. Yeah. So are interior designers coming to you and buying your fabrics for their customers as well?
Yeah, we're starting to try and grow that area of the business, but we have got interior designers who are coming to us, and that's really exciting as well to see that you know, we're being chosen for having, you know, quality but uniqueness, which is great.
I just want to tell you, because I was talking to my friend Paul last night, and he is the one I went to Wales with and studied traditional upholstery. And I was telling him about our interview, and he said, wow, I've been watching them, and they are really, really making a dent and becoming a presence. And so I wanted to tell you that because he appreciates all that you're doing, too. So I thought that I wanted to mention that to you, that, you know, there's a buzz all around. Yay! Okay, so I got off track there, but that's good information. So as far as the partnership goes, and you're the design end, you're the woodworking end. Now, for me, if I had a partner in my business, I'm not sure how that would work out, just because I don't know why. I'm not sure. But and I know that you guys get along terrifically, but how do you keep things, or I should say this, how do you make decisions and move forward smoothly without having any of sometimes those little partnership glitches?
I think, well, we as people, as individuals, I think we've both got a skill set that we can admire of each other. I think that is really important in a partnership, that you have something actually that is both complementary and that you can admire and appreciate. But we're also extremely similar. You know, when we first got together, we found some real spooky coincidences about ourselves, which sort of made us feel like mini twins, really.
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, we also have the same outlook on life. We're at the same stage of life. And we're very open. You know, we talk a lot. If we feel like we need to say something that we're not quite happy with, we will just go out there and say it. And, you know, and I think both of us appreciate that there may be days when one of us is a bit off key, you know, is not going to be hitting the mark all the time. And we'll forgive each other for that and just move on and make sure that actually, you know, our goal with this business is to make it work for us, but to, you know, to be out there and do the thing that we enjoy. And I think as long as you keep that in mind, we'll always be able to, you know, talk and resolve things.
Yeah. Well, that's a skill some of us work our whole lives at, you know, and so that's great that you're there.
It just works. It does just work for us.
Well, you know, there are people that you mesh with better than others, and that you obviously found each other, and it's kind of like a soulmate friendship business partner situation, right?
Definitely, yeah. I think if we hadn't have gone into business together, then we probably would have found something that we could have done together,
right?
You know, because I think, you know, we'll know each other for the rest of our life, and whether we're in business or not.
Yeah.
The Beatles don't want to break up ever, right?
Never.
Okay, so my next question is, let's go back to the business as it is evolving for you. And in these kind of design businesses, I have found that the way to stay afloat is not to have too much money out there in inventory and materials, even, you know, hiring someone. I have some freelance people that help me, but it's scary for me to think about hiring a person and having that expense, because you just don't know. I mean, hopefully, eventually you know how your business is going to flourish, but, you know, at some point you're like, I'm going to stay lean. I've got to stay lean and stay agile and be able to make quick changes. And so tell us about how you guys have managed that with your products that you've developed. The textiles and the legs and the kits. As far as like not ordering, knowing how much to have on hand or invest in it before you say, okay, that's enough. You know, we don't know what the trend is going to be, so we kind of want to pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still a learning curve to some extent. You know, I think in the early days we went a bit crazy we were going to get loads of furniture in and do that up, and then we realised quite quickly that that's not where our market was, and I think that was quite a big mistake. But since then, you know, we've learned to we hold a little bit of stock, not a lot, and it's keeping on top of that.
It's reading your customers as well, basically trying to find out in advance what you think your orders may look like, seeing what the reaction of our new products is, then to figure out actually what inventory do we need to hold. You know, cash flow is a killer in any business. If you mess that up, basically you die, don't you? So we stay as lean as we can.
We do everything. You know, to date, we've pretty much done everything ourselves, built a website,
Really?
Make the products, get the products designed, all the design work, the photography. Between the two of us, we've sort of had the skills or taught ourselves the skills of everything, you know, we need to do, keeping the books. Yeah, you know, we've outsourced the accountant
neither of us wanted to do the account,
but I do the bookkeeping, and Jess will upkeep the website, and if we don't know how to do it, we
figure it out.
And we do it.
That's a lot of work, and I know it from myself, trying to do all of those things, keep the online stuff going, as well as actually creating How many hours a week are you guys working? I mean, are you working more than a 40-hour week? You've got kids and families.
Sometimes we do. Yeah, and then sometimes it's
But then we hit the holidays, and we know that actually priority is the kids, and we need to back off on certain types of work. I think we're quite good at scheduling in when right, this is a good time to be working on this, this area of the business.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work for us in the summer holidays, or at this time of the year, or okay, I need to spend a few evenings doing this. And I think flexibility is key for us.
Yeah. But you're right. That we do, because we do a lot ourselves. It does mean that we have to put the hours in.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we had a bottomless pit of money and we could say, yeah, so they do this, so do that. But also, our business is about us. Our name is on the door. And, sometimes we do think, we should outsource this or that, particularly when it comes to marketing or PR. And then you think, well, actually, who does our customer, who do they want to speak to? Well, is it going to be Mary down the road, or is it going to be Jess or Jules? And at the moment, I think it is us.
It's at the moment, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's absolutely 100% true, and I think that wearing all the different hats in the business for a number of years, really, you become a part of it. And so when you do grow to the point where you can hire out, the business inside and out. You can turn it into the systems, and who knows where you want to go from there. But you wouldn't want, like, I hire out with a virtual assistant some of my website work, and it is so difficult. She's all the way across the country, and I've never met her, and it's hard. It's really hard to get that done right. If I had the know-how on the website, I would much rather do it myself. And combining your talents. And another thing, I think that's what's so great about this new generation of the creatives is that everybody knows the tech end of things. So I think you have a great foot up in starting your own business. And I want to say one more thing. Isn't it so great that because of what you have created, that you do have that flexibility, and that you can plan, like, I'm done over the Christmas holidays, I'm not going to be working. And there was a neighbor I had one time, and he said, Shelley, I'm just going to carve out my business. I'm going to make the life I want. My business is going to be just sort of a side note, but I'm going to live that life. And so what he did, he's always an inspiration to me, but he was a real kook. But he started a creative lighting business that set up lights for concerts and big deals. He sold it for millions of dollars. And you know what his life was he wanted after that? He became a clown.
Brilliant.
I know, and I would have never guessed it. And he actually had no sense of humor when you talk to him. He was just flat affect. But he turned his life, and I was like, oh my gosh, he is such an inspiration. But I think that's what I want to cheer on all of you guys as well as myself, is make the business around your life. And
from the start, we always said, this we're doing this instead of going out and working for somebody else where we can't be there for our families. We can't do what we want when we want. And, okay, we can't. When you're running your own business, you have got those responsibilities, but you can also have that flexibility.
Totally. And, who wants to get to their deathbed and figure out that they haven't done what they want in life as well? Life is for living. And if you could do something when it comes to work that you love, then that's got to be the best thing.
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's true. Are you guys like this? Some days I'm working in my shop and I'm thinking, does anybody see me? I'm enjoying myself so much. Isn't this am I cheating? It feels like it. Now, I will say that some of these people that were my friends have great big 401ks, savings accounts, whatnot. But you know what? They are unhappy with their jobs, and not everybody, but most of them that have been working a career are burnt out.
Yeah, totally. And I think that, that's got a lot to do with authenticity as well. If you live the life you want and you're authentic with it, and your business is based around that, then yeah, you might not make any money, or you might make little money to start with. But if if you've got something good and you're authentic with it, then I think actually you can have both. And although, many people try and start a small business and fail, and that could happen to us one day. We don't know. But I think truly, if you believe in what you do and you work hard at it, you try and live the life that you want to, you raise your kids right, you will, I think
it all feels right.
Well, it all feels right, and it will come back and reward you.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where you see your business in, say, the next 5 years. I don't know. Do you look out that far?
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, well, I
has a 5-year plan.
All right.
5-10 years. This is what I'd like the business to look like. And Jules sometimes has to pull me back down to earth and say, "Can we just finish this job first?" But yeah, I mean, we both work from home. At the moment, we work from home. It can be a bit crazy for our families to live around, especially when it's getting out orders and the whole house is covered with rolls of fabric, and they're tiptoeing around different components all over the place. But I think in 5 to 10 years, where we see ourselves is in some sort of maker space where we can collaborate and be with others in the same sort of situation as ours. We'd love to have that as an open space that we can retail from, that we can work from, and that we can share our love of what we do from. So I think although we work from home at the moment, we'll have probably in 5 to 10 years got out of that situation and hopefully have somewhere beautiful. And we want to grow our 3 markets, our 3 brands. Our fabric side of things is going incredibly well. We're really happy with where that's heading. And we've got tons of ideas around our bespoke brand. We've got some really exciting things in the pipeline around that. And Jules has got tons of products in the maker side that, there's a whole long list of things there. That
you just go and get them up, put them on.
Well, that just makes me crazy because I want to know exactly what you're thinking of. So I know you're not going to divulge those secrets, but I want to know.
Yeah.
So let's say that and another thing, I want to kind of go back to that previous point. Another thing about staying lean and making your own business. And you said, well, if we fail, we fail. It's never a fail. If you find it in a situation like yours, if you find an area dipping or whatever, you say, you know what, and I've done this, people aren't going for this, you can easily take a little pivot and go in a different direction, and it's not like the whole thing goes tumbling down. But it's in your head sometimes. You get, you're like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm just churning along. But in this business, listen to you. There's so many ideas, and isn't that just like the richest thing ever, is to be able to be creative?
It is, absolutely. And we've already, we changed direction a couple of times within the first few months. And we realised actually, when we sat down and reassessed where we want to be and what we're doing, actually this isn't, the entire direction that we want to take. We want to look at these other areas, and we've done that. And we've been quite flexible and fluid within our, sort of our structure of the goals that we want, and that has worked for us. I think we've found our place. We've found what's working and what we love.
Definitely, I think it's really important for us as well to figure out who our customer was, because as soon as you figure out who your customer is in your market, then you can set your business up to support that. And one of the reasons we've got our 3 brands now is because, just like you said, if we ever get a lean in any particular area, then we've always got our other customers and our markets to fall back on and push on. And hopefully, although the fabric interior side of the business is really strong at the moment, we will build the other sides, and we'll have customers cross over into each area, and that we've got ideas of where it's all going, and it's getting there. But Jules is right. You've got to be fluid as well. You know, things change.
Yeah.
God, the world changes, and you've got to keep up with it.
Well, speaking of your customers, knowing your customers, how did you, at the beginning of your business, start honing in on who, I mean, did you just kind of say, here, we're going to make this business and hopefully they'll come? Or did you do any kind of little market research in a very informal way to discover who your customers were?
Well, because I had the upholstery business when we had a little market there ready, but we also wanted to be able to produce textiles, unique textiles for people in that market. So I think for us at the beginning, we very much thought, do you know what, we're just going to go out and do something and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, there was no real
no
market research, there was no plan. And I think, you know, maybe that was a bit naive, but it also made it really easy to start a business. It got us cash in, which meant that we could then start thinking about, oh, actually, what do we want our business to be like? Maybe we can afford to start looking in some different areas. And I guess we were lucky in that respect.
We completely self-funded the business from the very first upholstery job. We've grown the entire business out of that, which for us, you know, it's been incredible to think what we've achieved and the things that we've managed to do from that very first upholstery job that Jess said, right, come on, this is a Jess and Jules. We're running with it now. It's been incredible.
And that was it. And that was, of course, my other question is, like, when did you realize it was legit? You're like, yeah, we are business women, and I think you said it. You knew right away.
Yeah, I think we knew, definitely that we've got something special. You know, you don't often have that sort of eureka, oh my God, this is us, this is going to work. It just feels so right. But I think when it comes to, you know, legit business, it's when we've had repeat customers, or you know, when we sold the first thing of everything that we've put out there, you know, that high fives all around, you know, it's like, whoa, actually people do like what we're doing. It's and that's an amazing feeling, really is. Yeah.
That's the greatest, when you get that little bit of feedback, and sometimes it comes in just a real subtle little comment that someone makes, and, you know, they say, for me, it's in teaching, you know, that, it changed the direction they were going because they were all burnt out. And that's all I needed to get me going and pumped up again. And so when you have some of these designers that you're helping out, I mean, that radiates out, and I think you probably share that feeling with me. Is that's really where the joy comes, and the reward is sharing, letting it glow and radiate, and share it with everybody.
Definitely, when you're in any sort of craft or design business, when you have the idea of something and then you make it, and then you get somebody appreciating it. So for us, it's, you know, when I sit and design a fabric collection, and then actually somebody buys that, and then they, you know, upholster with it on a chair, and you think, oh, then somebody else is going to buy that chair, and just think, wow, this is pretty.
I know. Tell us about that, because I saw your fabric on a piece in Australia, right? Some at the Ministry of Handmade down there. Is that who bought some fabric?
We've got the Ministry of Upholstery. We've got quite a few stockists now in the UK and Ireland with our fabric. But yeah, it's reached as far as New Zealand. We had a customer in New Zealand who, you know, just did a fabulous job with one of our first designs that we ever did, and shared a chair, and just think, wow, that, you know, we've designed that. That was our first design. We've been able to print some really quality fabric with it. It's reached New Zealand, and they've upholstered a chair, and they've sent us a photo because they're so proud of it. And I just think, amazing, you know, great job by them, and what a fabulous feeling.
I know, I totally get it. I get and that's what I try to convey to people who want to start these businesses. And sometimes they are maybe retiring from a 9-to-5 job, or perhaps they're just leaving a corporate job like you did. But, you know, having a little side business, you can have a small business and get started. It just brings so much extra to your life. And, I feel like I wave my banner and some people just are like, ugh, enough already. But, finding other people who understand that it's really exciting because you just want to talk about it and go, I know, do you get that feeling is so great. And, it's like, how much more can I share it? And that's what I keep thinking, how can I share this? And people are like, yeah, what is just crafty stuff? And it's like, no, it's not about that. It's about creating something, and it's like brain to hands.
Yeah, totally. And about helping other people do that.
Well, that's the icing on the cake, is helping others learn how to do that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I have another question, and you're probably not prepared for this, but so I know that you know the designers that you work with on your textiles, but do you have any kind of little network around all of England, or of other people starting businesses like yours where, say, upholstery is a component of it, but you're kind of developing products around that? So do you know other women like you doing this? Not the same business, but something similar.
Most of our network comes through social media. So we talk to a lot of people all the time in our business and similar businesses, design and craft businesses all around the world. And that's through places like Instagram and Twitter and, Upholstery Club and, all your Facebook chats and things like that. You get a real network and a sense of belonging in those sorts of groups. So those are the real main sources for our network, for our people. We have a newsletter that goes out, but it's quite one directional. The only way you will converse and find like-minded people really nowadays, I think, and globally is places like Instagram and Twitter for us anyway. Yeah. Facebook as well, although possibly not so much as the other two.
Wow. Okay. I can't really think of any. Do you have anything you'd like to add to share with other? I say women, and I don't think that it's limited to women starting these businesses, but for the most part, it seems like it is. But what would you say to someone? And I think about myself when I was a young mother, and I wanted to stay at home. I wanted a business, and I really just bumbled through it. So what would you give them as some pieces of advice?
Go with the bumbling. You're going to get
bumble all the way through.
I think when it comes to setting up a business, if it's something you love, then just do it. Like you say, even if it's a little sideline, it gets your creative mind working. Just do it. And then if actually you really want to set it up as a business, and make that your prime thing, then find your unique selling point. What makes you different from everybody else? Have authenticity, be authentic, and people will flock to it. We are who we are. We don't pretend to be anybody else. We work around our kids. That's our life. And they'll grow older, and our business will change, and our lifestyle will change, and that happens to everybody. But yeah, if you just go for it, don't let there be a ceiling. Just whatever you want to do, whether it's retrain, relearn. Life's too short. Just do it.
I agree with that. And like Jules said about just bumble through it, I remember early on I would keep trying to, because my husband kept saying, you need a business plan. And I would talk to other creatives online, and they'd say, I didn't have a business plan. I didn't know what I was doing. And I think for a while there, you don't really need one. You have to kind of see if it's what you're going to stick with. If you feel like you need one, that's fine. But I think people can make a great business and a living without a business plan, formal.
Yeah, totally. I think we had a business plan to start with, and that, if we were to look at that now, it'd be
probably laugh.
Yeah, we would probably laugh. And then every year we do have our strategy meetings and our sort of annual, what's this year going to look like? And, we'll get halfway through it, and then we'll have a cup of tea and a few biscuits, and then we'll think, actually, we can get on with other things. And Jules, no, we need to do this, and we'll finish. We will do it and we'll finish it off, because proper businesses are supposed to have business plans. It's important to understand where you want to go so you can achieve those goals. But if you're starting out, just do what you love.
Just start.
Yeah.
Just start somewhere.
Have some time to experiment. I think it's really important before you even formalise that business.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, just start.
Yeah, just start doing something.
Yeah.
This brings me to my last question, and it's kind of a cycle back from earlier, but I do have people in this course that I taught called Flipping Furniture, and they're so curious about your story that you had shared with me, that you thought at the beginning that everybody would buy your chairs that you redid. And a lot of these people are having troubles with chairs they're spending hours and hours on, and they can't get enough money out of them. So I said, you've got to hear what Jess and Jules say about this. And so there you go. There's your platform. Can you share about that part of your plan early on?
Yeah, I think Jules said it earlier. We had a great idea that we would buy, some unique furniture pieces. We would upholster them, and then people would buy them. And that's what you assume is going to happen. But actually, what we found is that we bought a load of pieces that people didn't particularly want. We thought they might be great, but actually a lot of our customers at that point came to us with pieces they'd already got. And
because we don't have a shop front either, anywhere that people can come and see the furniture. So I think with us just starting out, that it just wasn't realistic.
It wasn't realistic. And also, what's different about that? Why would somebody come to us and spend the money? Or if we did up a piece, what makes it different? And I think, you had Andrea on a couple of weeks ago, who makes such beautiful chairs, and she goes to such lengths with the detailing of them, and that's what makes her special and her chairs unique. And that's why people pay those prices, because she uses such quality ingredients when it comes to a chair. And she's got a great story behind, people want her for her story as well as the chairs. And we just had to find that place in our business. I think with anybody flipping furniture, you need to figure out what's going to make you different. Why is somebody going to buy your chair rather than, the guy down the road? And if you can find a way to do your art that's different, or if you can find a way that people recognise you through your techniques, I think that's
like defining your style, isn't it?
Definitely, right. Find your style, and it might be you just do chairs in a particular fabric, or you just you have a certain look. It might be that you Scandinavian look, or it might be you very bohemian. It could be a particular style. It could be the way you do things. It could be just your background story, but you need to have something different. I think that's really important with flipping furniture.
I think that's true. I think unless it is really unique, you can go to, some of the outlets here, which we call it TJ Maxx. I don't know if you have TJ Maxx. They have chairs that they've knocked off from Scandinavian websites or whatever. And so everybody's looking at your chair you did in a beautiful white linen, and they're looking at TJ Maxx that cost $89, and they're like, I'm not paying $200. I can buy that. They don't know the difference, for one thing. But I think, an art piece, which I believe that, art pieces of upholstery are going to, I still think that's going to grow. It's taken a long time. But I think there is a market in certain places for that.
Totally. And, if it is that, you're going to go for the Scandinavian white linen chair, then, you tell your story, and you say and you sing from the rooftops about why it's different. You blog about it, you get your networks crazy about you, you do your press and marketing around, the why you've chosen the finest linen, or why, that it has come all the way from Scandinavia. It's not been made in some horrible factory in China. Those are the things that you need to sell, and not just assume that people are going to understand that.
Right, right. Well, see, there's no wonder she does all the PR and all that stuff. She knows that. She knows the social media, whatever. Wow, Jess, you need to come and work. You could have a job with a lot of creative websites doing that kind of work. I need somebody just like you to come and say, here's your story. Now go out there and sell it, because it's hard to know how to do that.
It is hard. I find it incredibly difficult side of the business to deal with. And I do defer most of it to Jess because she just does it so damn well.
But you say sometimes it sounds. I feel like, and I'll just tell everybody this. It's so fakey for me to be bragging. I usually am the opposite. I don't feel like my things are really. I mean, it's not like I feel like they're bad. I just don't feel like they're spectacular. But to take that position and try to present yourself that way in a graceful, poised way that doesn't sound obnoxious is a real talent. And I don't think I have it.
Oh, yeah. I think it comes with the authenticity as well, though, about not pretending you're somewhere in your journey that you're not. So, there's a great quote, and I can't remember who it's by, but, don't ever compare your start to somebody else's middle. You're going to see other people out there in business who are doing what you think is fantastically well and that they're making millions. And, oh, God, why can't you be like that? But, if you're just starting out, don't compare yourself. And that can be hard, We're brought up now in a world where, especially as women, we're constantly looking at other women, oh, I should be looking like that. And I think it's the same with business, but just don't, and talk to people. And you'll find that, like you said, get your network. There will be other people out there in the same situation, and just grow it and talk and
boost each other.
Yeah,
that's true. And I think that when you talk to other people, you find out the real stories, the authentic stories, aren't what you are seeing online. It's like people are struggling and they have hardships and they're real. And I think being able to let that come through is really important. I think it connects us more. I kind of, if I find out somebody's had a little rough patch or something, I mean, my heart just goes out to them, like, man, I hear you, and I think that's important as human beings, that we need to not be all polished and perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, support, being for each other is so important. Yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you guys. Unless you have anything else to say, we have a torrential downpour, thundering, tornado sirens in the background. I thank you so much, and I know my viewers will just love to listen to this. And you are at jessandjules.com.uk, correct?
We're jessandjules.co.uk. Okay. Yeah, come get on our newsletter. Let's connect on our socials. We'd love to talk to everybody.
Yeah, any more questions? We're here to
send
answer.
us an email. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you're very welcome, Shelley. Thank you.
Bye.